Viva ANC, viva! Viva Umkhonto weSizwe, viva! Viva President Jacob Zuma, viva! Viva the Secretary General of the African National Congress, Comrade Ace Magashule, viva! Comrade Ngocho, Comrade Gorbachev, the leadership of MKMVA in the various regions and the province of Gauteng, the leadership of the African National Congress Women's League, the leadership of COSAS and of the ANC Youth League, and especially the Secretary General of the African National Congress, our Secretary General, Comrade Ace Magashule. It is an honor to be here today. I woke up this morning, comrades, and I wrote a tweet. I said, 42 years ago, on a little hill outside Gaborone, I was given the privilege to join the African National Congress and to join Umkhonto weSizwe. It was not something that I could have demanded. It was granted to me as a white man in South Africa. And I stand humbled that 42 years later, I can still be a humble servant of the African National Congress and of Umkhonto weSizwe. As I stand here, I want to honor the many comrades of Umkhonto weSizwe who laid their lives down for our struggle. I remember all the detachments. I remember the comrades that went into exile in all the camps, who fought not only for our liberation, but against colonialism and imperialism in the frontline states, and many of them laying down their lives in Angola, in Zimbabwe, in Mozambique. I remember that there are comrades who today have not yet returned to the soil of South Africa, but they're still out there and they have to be brought back. But I also remember, comrades, the young people who fought here inside South Africa as part of self-defense units, who defended their communities, who laid down their lives, some of them as young as 13 and 14-year-olds. Comrades, I get angry when are those arrogant people who point around and say, that one looks too young. He shouldn't be part of Umkhonto weSizwe. This one can't be with MK. But they forget that in 1993 and 1994, those comrades at the ages of 13, 14, and 15 were laying down their lives in the liberation struggle. They forget that there was a decision by the High Command of Umkhonto weSizwe to train self-defense units here inside this country. Today they want to exclude those comrades. They do not want to recognize them as members of Umkhonto weSizwe. They want to keep them off the database. They do not want them to participate in the upcoming Unity Conference of MK. I want to remind one of those people who today has a very senior position, in fact the most senior position in government. What happened on the 9th of January 1994 in Katlehong. He was part of a delegation. Him, Comrade Joe Slope, I was one of the junior members there, who went to an area that we believed had been liberated. But as we got out of our cars and we walked there, suddenly from one of the hostels, automatic machine gun fire started. A number of people lost their lives there. That senior man was saved by self-defense unit youngsters. I've got the video. I've got the video, comrades. That senior man, who was not a military man, was a civilian. When the gunfire started, froze. We had to tackle him from the back and bring him down to the ground to protect him. They were courageous young comrades with handguns, with pistols, storming towards that hostile fire, protecting him and us who were there, part of that delegation. You know who I'm talking about. You know that I'm talking about President Cyril Ramaphosa. You also know that it's those among him and with him who want to keep those very same comrades who saved his life today out of the Unity MK conference for their own selfish reasons. You also know, comrades, that it's that same man and that same people who came in 2017 to the 54th National Conference of the ANC at Nazareth and destroyed the democratic processes of the ANC and bought a presidency and bought a national executive committee. Now, comrades, I started by saying that those who lay down their lives for our liberation struggle in Mkonto Sizwe must be honored. There is no way that they can be honored by those who conducted themselves in that fashion. Because that was a betrayal of the ideals that we, as the African National Congress, had been created for, had been established in 1912, and had to go through all the decades. There, comrades, just behind us, is the place where the Freedom Charter was adopted. The Freedom Charter that says the land belongs to the people who work it, that promises free education, that talks the language which is expressed in the resolutions for radical economic transformation that was adopted at the 54th National Conference of the ANC. Comrades, there is going to be no way that we can regain the revolutionary heart of the ANC, that we can regain those ideals as they were adopted here in Kliptown, there at that square that we look at, if we do not make sure that we have a leadership that carries in their hearts and their souls the revolutionary.
Niehaus. Yes. Okay. just at the moment quite safe.
Check it.
Is the expression of the dignity of us in this country, and especially the majority of Black and African people. They did not vote because of the failure of the leadership. So, Comrade Ace, you are our leader. You sit here with us and we call you our Secretary General. We say to you and those who are like you, not like the man that I spoke about in Katlong. We need to have a new leadership. We need to bring this organization of ours back to its revolutionary roots. We need to honor Petrus Molefe, who was the first cadre of Umkhonto we Sizwe who laid down his life for our liberation. So let me conclude, colleagues. We hope as cadres of Umkhonto we Sizwe that there will eventually be a unity conference where all MK cadres can be united. But we want to give a message on this day, because it must be done on this day, to those who want to divide us, to those who want to disregard us. Be clear. That conference will include all of those who fought for Umkhonto we Sizwe's struggle for liberation. We will not have STU members and others excluded from participating in that conference. We are told that there are those, strangely enough among them, a gentleman who tries to make a mockery of us, who calls this uniform of Umkhonto we Sizwe that I wear, that Comrade Mogocho is wearing so proudly, calls it a pep store outfit. I'm talking about Zikalala. Strangely enough, some of those want to tell us that we are not going to elect a leadership at that conference, but that leaders will be appointed. I've got a simple answer for you. We say it in Afrikaans, you can translate it in all the other languages. Bollocks. Poppycock. We are a democratic organization. We will have our leaders elected democratically. They will represent the people who fought for the liberation of this country. We know why you don't want to have elections, why you want to appoint, because you have no numbers. You are not grounded. You are not there as the roots of this struggle and of the people. You created a parallel organization out of the blue, parachuted into us in 2017 called MK Council. You've got no numbers. So you will win no conference. You will be marginalized, as you've always been, on the margins of integrity and on the margins of the true struggle. Comrade Mogocho, I end. we dedicate ourselves today again to that manifesto that was adopted on the 16th of December 1961 by the first High Command and leaders of Umkhonto we Sizwe. We said it at the beginning of this event. There comes a time in the history of a nation when you either have to submit or to fight. That time came then. But comrades, that time has arrived now again. It is up to us to save our beloved liberation movement. And no other structure and no other people have the greater duty to do so than us in Umkhonto we Sizwe, who've always been the cutting edge and the spear of our nation. Amandla! Viva ANC, viva! Viva Umkhonto we Sizwe, viva! Viva President Jacob Zuma, viva! Viva the dying spirit of Solomon Mahlangu, viva! Long live the ANC! Long live! Long live the ANC! Long live! Long live Umkhonto we Sizwe! Long live! Amandla. Thank you, comrades.